Hello, and thank you for joining this edition of Paris Grace. In this video, I attempt to reimagine a Louis Vuitton classic. Well, there are many Louis Vuitton classics. This one happens to be called the Danube. You may know that Louis Vuitton uses the names of geographical places. The Danube happens to be the second largest river in Europe, flowing through much of Central and Southeastern Europe. This one happens to be the Danube PM. There is a GM, and there is also something called the Mini Danube. As you can see here from the monogram, it's pretty mini. You see the LV about 4 times here in the corners. That is very, very small. Some people have called this a camera case. But regardless of whatever you want to choose to call it, this happens to be a very desirable item still available online, like in auction on eBay. If you were looking to purchase something like this, you would expect to pay between $200 and $300. And it's a very, very small bag. But for a man or woman, if you wanted to carry a cell phone, maybe a wallet or something like that, so you can go hands-free, I think this would be kind of a nice item to have. Now, this is in my collection. This is the Amazon. I wanted to show you how the Danube series, if you will be very similar to this and sometimes share similar characteristics. So the Vachetta piping, the Vachetta corners, the straps, and so on. The Amazon is a little bit larger in size. As you can see from the backside, the monogram covers about 6 LV parts of the pattern. And this one has a smaller front zipper pocket, as you can see here, kind of. It's lying on its belly. But I wanted to illustrate how, the monogram relates to the size of the piece. In this particular project, I will try to kind of incorporate characteristics of both these 3 pieces into one. Now, I still have some leftover monogram canvas, from the older luggage piece that I've been using. It's not a lot of material, so you have to get really creative in using it, because once you start cutting and using the pattern itself, of course, you don't always have as much as you think you have. I will be incorporating, as I usually do, like different items from different bags. This one happens to be a Louis Vuitton strap in black leather, which I think will look nice in this particular project. In the spirit of sustainability, I think I am a person that likes to incorporate and bring back to life different parts, different pieces, different items, to give or extend the life in a new sort of product. So I hope that you will enjoy this project. Stay tuned. Okay, so at this stage, I've cut the 2 panels, front and back. This one really is intended to be sort of a pocket on the front, so this shall be the back side. This one will be the front, and what I would like to do is incorporate this particular salvaged Louis Vuitton piece from a different bag. I think this would look really nice as part of this pocket. So imagine just keeping this section, removing all of that, so that you would have the logo right there, and that would be in the front of the bag. So what I need to do next is cut the corners, round them off, and then I will be ready to start on the piping and move on to the next stage. Thank you so much for watching. What I'm doing here is I'm using a shot glass in order to sort of mark my rounded areas, and then I will cut those up. So on this particular piece, I've measured from here to here. It's exactly 7 inches, and on the back side, I have marked the middle of that, obviously 3.5 inches from end to center. Now I'm going to use that mark in order to get this distance. The ends of this piece, remember, I'm just going to use the bottom. The ends of the cut piece will have to be skived so that when the piping is added to the edge, it will sew properly.
So that's the next step. Since this bag is going to be made in the traditional monograms or monogram canvas and accented with black leather, this piece will have to be painted.
this particular stage, you see the two pieces that create the front panel, and as a result create a pocket. You can see the logo accent, the leather corners, and now it's ready for the piping. I've cut strips of the black leather that will serve that purpose. Oftentimes people use like your, weed whacker line to fill the inside of your piping. That works really nicely and it looks really nice as well. I've decided to actually use nothing, just the leather. And it really depends on what look you want and also how much of the piping you want exposed in the end. Like I said before, I won't be using anything other than the leather itself. So once I attach the piping to my back panel, as you can see here, you can go back and look and see if your seam is correct. And sometimes it doesn't look quite straight. Maybe the corners are not quite positioned correctly. So, there's a lot of trial and error when you're making one project for the first time. And so what I had done here is I had ripped my seam and redone it in different areas just to make it the best way possible. Here you can see both of the panels already with the piping, and here at this stage what I need to do is add the spine, if you will, of this bag. That is what creates the depth of the bag. Usually the top has an opening, a zipper opening to the main compartment. On the sides you can add your hardware for the straps and so on. So I will continue with that portion of this project. Now here you can see the zipper piece that will be the top of the spine. You may notice that the strips are not quite aligned, as you can see from end to end, but they're actually aligned with the pattern itself. So this is an example of how whatever material you're using may not work with you as well. Here it's not leaving me as much sewing allowance on the ends to add my other piece, but I will do the best that I can. So I wanted to align the pattern itself, and therefore my strips were a little bit off. Here I am joining two of the pieces that create the seam that is at the bottom of the bag, and I will continue with the sides. I often use double-sided tape. This happens to be clear. I'm using that to position my leather strip before I sew it. That happens to work really well. Once I've added my piece, I will kind of finish it up a little bit. I recently started using this Feebings edge coat in neutral. I figured that, as you're buying materials for your projects, you may be using different color leather. The neutral one works really well. It finishes it nicely, and it dries clear and shiny. And so this may be something that you may want to consider using in one of your projects. Here I'm sewing that one end, and here I'm adding my hardware. Here I'm sewing the hardware piece and finishing off that leather strip. And here is the sort of end result in that particular section of this project. Here you can see where I've added the spine to the bag. Essentially that completes the project. Like I said before, there's a lot of trial and error. It's not 100% perfect. I really did my best, and I kind of went back and redid different sections of it just to get just as good as I could. I hope that you can appreciate the end result. I hope you've enjoyed this video.
So here you have it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this project. Please be sure to leave me your comments and like this video. I will see you next time.